Good morning, folks. It's Scott here with Gray Ghost Gardening. And it's been a while since I've posted a video. I said been a while, it's been a few weeks. I actually had real work kind of occupy some of my time and keep me from doing the stuff that I like to do as frequently out here in the garden. I'm a high school teacher for my day job, so to speak. And I work in a district that's just west of where I live here, small one high school district. I say small, we're a 6A school, and in Texas that's the largest classification, but we're only a one high school district. And anyways, we're moving into a new high school, and it's going to be really nice, but it's always a pain to move. And so I've been preoccupied with some moving responsibilities and some things associated with work. And since that's what pays the bills, that's where I've had to dedicate some of my time here lately. So what I've got going on today and really kind of this weekend, it's kind of the midsummer garden cleanup. I've still got some stuff going on, and I'll turn around and show you here in the garden. But then there's a lot of stuff that I got to clean up and get ready for fall. And it's just, it's one of those things that you got to do. I don't want to say it's the least enjoyable, because it's always exciting to clear something out and get ready to start something new and kind of be in anticipation of the next go around. But I'll show you just a little bit of that. I'm not going to just bore you to tears with that. I'll show you a little bit of what's going on and what's still in the ground and still working. We actually got some rain yesterday. Holy cow. Not a lot, but it's always amazing what a little bit of just natural rainfall does for the garden, instead of just watering it, with irrigation or a hose or sprinkler or whatever. It just perks back up so much. And one of the things that I really noticed was one of my big sunflowers here that's not in the greatest of shape. The tops have all, already kind of died off, but this was, I don't want to say this was all the way leaning over to the ground yesterday. But just a little bit of rain we got. And when I say little bit, I mean, we didn't even get half an inch, quarter inch. I don't even think we got that much. But it's just so much more beneficial when we can get rainfall. So I'll turn the camera around here and just take a look quick and see what's got to go out and what needs to be done to clean things up and talk about the upcoming fall. So, even though I say I do container gardening, and it's certainly true, that's where most of my production comes from. I do still have some above ground beds, 3 kind of that were the original, and then I quickly added this one here for my peanuts over here. My peppers, I've nursed them through so far. Had a little bit of pepper production, starting to get some more here on this one, bunch of blossoms on the one here. And so these are both in containers here. These produce a really beautiful orange bell pepper, and this one here produces a fantastic red. So I'm hoping that this next round of peppers is going to be as good as the first couple rounds, and that they don't get burned up. We're just in July here in Texas, and our hottest month, August, is still yet to come. Believe it or not, I still have some cabbage hanging on. That's been eaten up pretty good, but I'm not real big on putting a bunch of pesticides and that type of stuff on my cabbage. And if I get anything out of it, I do. If not, I'll give it to my parents, who live about 40 minutes away from here, and they've got some chickens, and they absolutely love anything green. Sweet potatoes are in the mostly filling up here what's in these containers. I'm gonna pull out all my tomatoes and I'm gonna rework this bed here in the back, and this is where I'm gonna do all of my onion sets this fall. And I guess what I'm gonna do in the meantime, because those won't go in the ground, onions won't go in the ground until end of October, beginning of November for us here in Zone 9A. So I'm going to do another round of beans, several different kinds of beans. You know, some of my tomatoes were really hit or miss. They were doing really well until we got just smashed with the heat. And then food became so scarce that the squirrels really got in here and were just wearing out tomatoes. I had to pull them so green that, you know, it was tough. There are a couple of little cherry tomatoes still on one or two of those vines, but anyways, it's just part of it. You know, like I said, peppers are doing good. These there's some jalapenos there. They don't have anything on them right now. I think I recently pulled the last crop, but maybe this rain will get them to flower again for me. Peanuts are doing, I guess as far as I can tell, pretty well. You know, I had a little bit of an issue. You can see here with what to me looks like some kind of rust on them, on just in this little corner here. There's a little bit on that plant right there, but I've been spraying an antifungal on them, and so they do look, you can see it a little bit better here. They look better than they did, but it's funny, it's just been this bottom corner, and I don't necessarily understand why that is. Here's my grapefruit tree that I swore was dead and was never gonna come back after the freeze we had a couple years ago. Well, it wasn't a couple years ago now, a year ago. What was that, February 2021, when it was so insane. The melons that I've got in the containers here are doing well. My new orchids here have got several fruit that have set. Sorry, the sun is a bad lighting situation here, but I got two more down there. These new orchid vines really seem to be, I don't want to say aggressive, but seem to be happy and growing well. Again, I've got another little melon here. This one is a yellow baby doll, and it's doing well. I'm looking to see if I'm probably gonna have to come out here and do a little bit more hand pollination. All right, move, Cosmo, move. These are the two that are still surviving, that are just the strangest. These have been such a challenge. So these are these golden midgets, and golly, I don't know what else to do with these. I mean, it's the you know, they're still growing, so I'm not gonna cut them off. There were 5 vines in here originally, and as you can tell, 3 of them died. And some of this, it just looks so sickly. And I've talked to people at a couple of nurseries, and you know, everybody tells you something different. And so I'm just gonna let them go and see what happens. Or sugar babies, sorry. I'm getting new vines to grow after kind of a first wave or first round of melons that I harvested, and so I'm looking forward to another round of those. Again, I got a little cantaloupe here, probably about ready to harvest. I'm gonna let these kind of die out, the cucumbers that I've got here, and I'm gonna plant. I'll clean this off and then plant some different cucumbers. I got one there that needs to be pulled, but anyways, it's been fun. It's worked for sure, and figure out how to modify it a little bit and do a better job with it for next year. But I'm anxious to see how some of these other little melons turn out. They're so cute when they're little. So back over here, I got a few new tomato vines that I put in that were from cuttings that I took from what I thought were 3 of the best producing vines that I had in the spring garden. These are my Victoria red grapevines. They're doing pretty well. Seem to have settled into their larger pots. These are my other cuttings from my own grapes. Mr. Lizard down there, they're wondering where all the potato plants went. I got more baby lizards crawling around in my garden right now because this was all, all these tubs of potato plants that I had. And I mean, it was heaven for the lizards. They absolutely loved it. This bucket right here, I'm waiting to see if it pops through or if it died. Over in my peanut patch, there was a potato plant that had sprouted up. So I'm guessing a squirrel must have found one of the potatoes that I tossed out or left or missed or something, and had taken it over there and maybe was eating it and then got scared off or whatever. So anyways, I didn't want it growing there, so I dug it up and buried it in here. But I haven't seen anything push through, so maybe it didn't make it. Maybe it didn't like being disturbed. What I'm gonna also do this morning is repot my last Primark Freedom blackberry bush down there. So I've got, this one is doing just gangbusters. This one, I'm happy that so far, I got to get some mulch on top of these. I'm happy that it's still alive. I thought I lost it, but it's, with a lot of nursing and babying, it's coming back. So anyways, so I'll have a couple of nice blackberry bushes next year. My figs really are doing great as far as I can tell. This is the Santa Rita right here, and good grief, it's just, the joker keeps growing. This one here is the Verdino del Nord, and so I think it's doing really well. And so I've been really pleased with those. This was another tree here that I would have sworn to you was dead and gone. It's an orange tree, but lo and behold, it's coming back like gangbusters too. And so we'll see if I leave it and let it go or not. I'm not sure yet. I've got a bunch of work still to do here on my grapevine that's back here. I've harvested the grapes that the squirrels didn't get, which wasn't very many by the end of the day. I'm going to take a bunch more cuttings off of this and try to root them. I don't know what I'm going to necessarily do with all of the grapevines that I'm propagating. I'll probably end up just giving them away to people. But there's a bunch of new growth down there at the end that'll make real good cuttings to propagate and to start new grapevines. So here I've got 2 newest additions. I found another really neat little nursery down south of where I live called Caldwell Nurseries. It's down in Rosenberg, just south of Rosenberg, or right outside of Rosenberg, which driving from here where I live, it's, 30-40 minutes to get there. But these are two dwarf ever-bearing mulberries. Now I've never even heard of this Caldwell nursery before, but I guess it's pretty well known maybe down there in that part of the world. It's family owned, and based on information that I kind of gleaned off of their website, the one of the owners have fairly recently passed away, and so they're really kind of struggling to keep things in order and to keep things going. But I saw where they, on their website, they had these, and so I got these for $15, and I thought that was a great deal. And so I'm going to get these potted up this weekend as well, and see if we can't start getting some mulberries. I wasn't ready to commit to a full-blown mulberry tree, but these, from what I understand, as long as I keep cutting them back, I can keep them in the neighborhood of 6 to 8 foot, and start getting mulberries. Now these won't produce great big giant mulberries. They produce actually pretty small ones, but that's okay. It's just my wife and I here, but I'd love to use them to make some preserves or some jelly or jam, something like that. My little Lila, if anybody has any suggestions on this, on what's going on with her, I don't think I can't believe at this point that it's transplant shock. What I'm thinking is that maybe she's getting burned and that I might need to move her to a more shaded area. If anybody has any suggestions, I know that the lighting is terrible here, it's so bright, but if anybody's got any suggestions about what I can do to help her out, I would certainly welcome the feedback, because now, but this again, my other tree, you can see here, its main trunk is hardened off really well, whereas the Lila is still real green, and so what I'm thinking is that it still just may be too tender to handle the sun, and that it's getting scorched. But if anybody knows if this is something else going on, please let me know, because I hate to lose her. So, I'm sure in all likelihood it's user error on my part. I'm not doing something correctly. But anyways, that's about it. So it's a work weekend. Clean up, kind of rework that one bed back over there, get it ready for some beans, do some lima beans and some more green beans. I'm even thinking of maybe doing some pinto beans. I've never done those before. I do have a squash that needs to be picked over there, I don't know, in that one container. But like I say, it's been a while since I've posted anything, and wanted to let everyone know that I was still alive. I just had to do some real work. All right, y'all enjoy your weekend. I hope everybody else got a little bit of rain. Hopefully not all the flooding and stuff that they had out on the East Coast. But I hope your weekend is a blessed one, and I hope your garden produces to your heart's content. All right, we'll talk to you later.